everyone, and welcome to Every Day is a Yay! Woo! All right, well, on today's episode, we got a special guest, the icon, Latosha! So we have literally traveled the world together. And when I say that, I mean, she has taken all my iconic photos. I mean, even the photos that landed in magazines, it's all been here. It's all been her, period. It's been everywhere. And so it is just such an honor to have you on this show. And she is multi-talented, folks, okay? She has a gift with the lens. But Latosha, tell us more.
So first, thank you for having me.
Of
this
course.
Is my first podcast.
Oh my gosh!
So just to let y'all know, Jewel is just such an amazing person.
Oh.
And literally, you were my first published piece of work in the magazine.
Oh my God!
Traveling the world as a person, I'm just so glad that it was you. So thank you so much for having me. Yes, so talking about all of my talent. So my first and full-time job right now is photography.
Period.
But how I got into photography is actually through dance. And so while I was in undergrad, I went to school for dance. I got my BFA in dance. And there, so praise dance is my strong suit. And that's what, if you ask me what type of dancer I am, I would tell you I'm a praise dancer. Just me being able to be authentically who I am, that came from dance. Going, I went to get my master's in business.
Period. So
that's when I was doing photography and as a dancer, but it was just to do promotional work for dancers. So just taking dance photos essentially. But now when I got my master's, I was oh, people need headshots. Oh, people need corporate events. Oh, okay. So I can do photography in other fields. Bet. Then I ended up graduating during the pandemic. I'm a 2020 graduate. It's
Period.
Very sad.
Look.
Because we didn't have a graduation.
Okay. Oh, and wait. Okay. It hit me when you said 2020 grads. I'm yeah.
Yeah, it was tough. From that, I'm trying to go the corporate route. I wanted to merge my 2 degrees, which is dance and business, and go into dance administrations. But dance studios were closing because they couldn't have an audience. So literally my job that I wanted was not there.
Wow.
But photography was. And unfortunately, people were dying. And so that means people wanted more family shoots.
Yeah.
And so I was able to get my business off the ground because I started taking family sessions. But I can put this effort into making my own business. And that's what I did. And I was just look, skip it. I'm done. Whatever. The job I wanted, it's not there, so I'm going to create it. And that's how I created it. Just went full time, trusting God the whole way.
Wow.
And here I am, traveling the world with you.
Okay. Period. We're about to talk about what it means to chase your dreams and what, the side effects of all that is.
Yes.
But before we do that, drum roll, please. We're going to the Goblet of Smiles.
Ta-da.
So during this segment, you pick a question and then we have a really fun conversation. So
I'm a little nervous about this goblet, Jewel. All right.
Okay.
What's to say? What super something would you pick?
Power.
Okay, the superpower that I would pick, this is a great question.
Good.
The superpower that I would pick, I would love to read people's minds.
Ooh.
And the reason is because, I grew up a very sheltered child.
Yes.
And so, that's the whole journey within itself. But anyways.
We'll dive in.
Yes.
Look.
I'm very used to just, being naive and not knowing a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with that comes just, being tricked, and I'm very gullible. So if I could just read somebody's mind and be I'm about to lie to this girl, then I'd be psych! You didn't get me! I'm on you now, what?
Exactly, you tried it!
Exactly, you tried me, and you didn't succeed. Period. So that's why I would want to read people's minds so that I don't get got. That's it.
Be okay, I want to read minds, but I'm also okay, do I want to hear all the negative things people have to say about me? Because I'll be wanting to fight people, and then it's wow, but you didn't say it to me, and then I'm going to be looking some type of way. Mm-hmm. But I also... It'd be a good power. For me, either flying or teleportation.
Ooh, okay, why?
So it's really funny. So whenever I would have, sometimes I'd have some nightmares or I'd be in situations and the first thing I do is just run. So I used to watch, y'all know VeggieTales?
Yes.
People would just turn into cartoons and then it was they turned scary and I don't know. It was always like me jumping out the window and sprinting until I woke up. So I just like want, I just want the power to always be able to get out right away. Because I think for me, if it was a fight or flight situation, I'm definitely the one that's flighting.
Gotcha.
Because my thing is, you aren't even going to have a chance with me.
Okay.
I will be gone.
I feel that.
I'll be gone.
Yes, I feel that.
And it's funny because I used to run track. So I'm like, and there's a reason why I was a sprinter. I'm like, because I want to be able to get out.
Yes.
You're just so inspiring. And I think it takes a lot of guts to be like, I'm going to fully invest in building my own business, period. And I think that's the mantra of this show, like what we're talking about, chasing your dreams. But what does that actually mean?
For me, chasing your dreams, and I like get asked from a lot of photographers, like, how did you go like full time? And so like, I think when people think about chasing your dreams, they automatically think freedom, and then I can make as much money as I want, right? But nobody actually thinks about, well, you actually need discipline.
Yes.
You actually have to prepare, put in the work to prepare for this to make your dreams. And then also the ability to keep learning. Like, you're never going to be, one, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room, but also you're never going to have all the answers. And so like when people see other people chasing their dreams, they think like, oh, they must be the best, or like, oh, they've reached this level to where they're making this much money. But it's nobody ever realized all the back work that has went in for me to get to the level that I'm in. And so it's like, even when photographers ask me like for advice, they're like, I love your work. How did you get here? And I'm like, did you do some free shoots? No. So what kind of style do you want to shoot? I don't know what kind of style. Well, what type of photography do you want to shoot?
Exactly.
I don't know what type of photography. You got to put in that work in order to even know where you're going. But like, these are preparation steps. Also, investing and learning. I just spent $1,500 on seminars, going to boot camps, and all that from May to now.
Wow.
$1,500.
Wow.
Nobody wants to put in that money to learn. When you put in the time to invest in education, when you're constantly learning, that's what elevates you, when you're putting yourself in circles and arenas where people are bigger, not even bigger than you, when people just have the opportunity to help you succeed and help you to elevate. Those are the moments that you need to seize and take advantage of and grow and humble yourself though.
Yes.
You're like, and also with chasing your dreams. And like, for me, what that means is that I have to be humble, right? Yeah. But also I have to know my worth, and I also have to believe in myself.
Let's talk about that, because I feel like that is what separates people from being like, okay, this is my dream, versus like, I'm going to go after it, versus I'm going to go after it and stay going after it. Walk me through like your thoughts on like, what does it mean to believe in yourself, or how hard that is? I
would say it starts with your tribe. And because if I didn't have like the parents that I have that actually like support me, and like the moment I have like a bad client, like one time I had to refund the client $200, y'all, for a wedding, because it was my fault. I took 2 months to get him an album. I get it. Like, I get it. Like, that's my bad, right? But it's like, even after that, I could have been like, no, weddings are not for me anymore. Yeah. And my mom was like, no, that's one client. Lesson learned. Move on. My dad's also an entrepreneur. So he grew up, he made t-shirts, and then also he's a pastor. And so he just like,
this makes sense. Yeah. I mean, that's just like this makes sense.
Anytime that like I want to give up, he goes back to a scenario of when he felt like giving up. He's like, remember this, and this? Like, I always remember it, but I always remember it from the view of a child. Like, I don't really like understand all that went into it. Yes. But now that I'm older and like I'm on this entrepreneurial path as well, he's like, so imagine if I would have gave up at this point. Would I be where I am now? Wow. No. And so it's just like having like that tribe to support me to keep going, that helps. The reasons that I want to be a photographer or full-time, just freelance entrepreneur in general, is not because of the money. And like, you would meet people that like want to do it for the money. And so it's just like, what happens when you reach your goal? So yes, you become a millionaire. That's a big one. Yeah. So when you become a millionaire, what you gonna do now? What's gonna keep you going? Because now you can reach your goals. I'm trying to make a career out of this. And like, also, I want to touch people. And the reason I got into photography is so that people can see themselves more beautifully. Also creating these like family memories that people don't have. And like, as a Black photographer, a lot of Black people don't like emphasize or like see the importance in photography until like I put it in their face, and I'm just like, now you got your family picture is on the wall, and you're able to look at yourself every morning. And like you have my beautiful.
Yes, literally, my picture that she took is on my wall. I love because you're able to capture our beauty. Because it takes art, right?
Yes.
And people don't always put that intention. And that's why representation is so important. That's why once we connected, I ain't ever going to let you go. Like, this is a lie. This is forever. No. This is forever. Period.
But like, yes, it's like that's why I got into photography.
Yeah.
And so it's just like how you said, like, my goals is to bring out the happiness in my clients.
Yeah.
And so it's just like,
it shows.
And with that, like, comes their beauty. And so it's just like that's why I do this. Like, that's what keeps me going.
Mm-hmm.
That's my drive. What's going to keep me going for 40 years plus is knowing that, like, I'm providing people with this beautiful service that a lot of people don't. And even like other photographers, they're always just like, take the picture, stand there. Nobody actually tells people how to pose. Like,
and you are so helpful. I remember our session, like, you're always like, do this and do this and do this. And a lot of the photos I save and post everywhere are things I didn't really, like, it didn't come from here. It was through our collaboration.
Yes.
And it shows, like, you are just so committed and so purpose driven with everything you do. That's how you're able to bring the light in people.
Yes. My drive to make people happy, my drive to influence actually started as a dancer on stage.
Wow.
Not even knowing. But like, that's why that is my brand. And it's through and through any art that I do, because that's literally like who I am as a person. I'm living in why God put me on this earth. And that is to bring joy to others.
Period.
Whatever vector is through, vehicle is through, that is why, to make people happy. And as long as I keep doing that, I'm going to keep going.
Look, as you should. I'm just hearing you say all this, and I hear your conviction. Like, you are so confident in, like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm doing it, period.
Yes.
Period. Yes. What does it mean to chase your dreams? For me, part of what chasing my dreams is, how are you strategic in getting to your end goal? I always knew I wanted to be a star and see my face on billboards, but I didn't really know what that looked like. I think that's part of also what I see as chasing your dreams is trying things. Because I think that's, like, for my story, I kept trying while also being strategic. For me to even be like, I want to pursue something full-time in the arts, it just wasn't something that was encouraged.
Gotcha, yeah.
But I will say, kind of like, fast forward now, it's still like, I'm glad I tried all the things I did, from like building games, because now I have a career as a games producer, which I love. And also I have the space to build and create content, whether it's doing this as every day is a yay, check it out. Oh, you're checking it out, period, share with friends. Gotta plug.
There for it.
Period. But also just being able to create amazing content. So I think for me, chasing my dreams is trying things, taking chances, but being strategic. And that's why when you talked about discipline, oh my goodness, I feel like it's the biggest thing that's hidden behind chasing your dreams. Yes. The glamorous is chase your dreams. The behind the scenes, your vegetables, is the discipline. I know even in my journey, I could have and still can make more room to get better at my craft, right? Like, even when I think about specifically around speaking, that one I practice by just putting myself out there and putting myself in situations just like what happened a couple days ago. That one was not planned.
Okay, but you seized the moment.
I seized the moment. So just for background, I was at Can TV and it was the premiere episode of Can Speaks.
Yes.
And I guess I was bold, and then it landed me on stage.
She stood out in the crowd, period.
I feel like that's like a form of discipline of like putting yourself out there. But there is that one of recognizing, okay, I really do want to improve upon my skills. Like the fact that you invested that much money in classes, like that's a testament to how committed you are to being at the level that you want to be. And I think that's something where I think it can help people define like, hey, is this really my passion and purpose? Or is this just something I want to do just to do?
Yeah. Like, are you disciplined enough to even keep doing it when
exactly.
times get hard?
Let's get into that. Like, has there been moments like when times get really hard where you're like, I'm done? Yeah. Like, has there been that moment where like, I can't?
So like working with people, they can deter you from a lot of things. Okay? So specifically, one time is that I was like just trying to be overachiever, and I had seen like a lot of photographers had started offering like print packages. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna start doing these print packages. So I did it with the wrong one. And I must just say a low budget client. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
A low budget client that wanted the world of me. Okay, out of photography. I didn't deliver the pictures in time that she wanted them, and that also meant that like the prints didn't come in time too. Not that she really had a deadline. It just was my word. Also, like in business, your word is your bond. So don't be saying stuff that you don't mean. And it's like for me, I'm thinking these are just like prints, like whatever. You can go to Walgreens and print them. Why you just so hung up on me doing it? And also, I was doing it for free. In that moment, I was seriously questioning like, is photography something I really want to do? Like, do I want to go through like this hassle for the rest of my life? And me always having to bite my tongue and be like, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Yeah. Knowing like, I actually didn't give you a date when you was gonna get these free pictures. So therefore, like, you bugging me about this stuff.
And it's like, what was the reason?
Right. Wow. From that story of just like, okay, Tasha, you're gonna deal with clients that don't like you. My art is still subjective at the end of the day. Yeah. So my art is not for everyone. My business is not for everyone. My systems are not for everyone. And it's even in that moment that I had to find it in myself to be okay with not being the best. And even if I'm not at my best, I still know that I did quality job. Period. Why? Because I've already put in the work. I'm disciplined enough to know that this is my routine. So even those days that I don't feel like doing something, I have routines in place that like, if I don't feel like doing it, it's second nature because
I love that.
It's already in me. Even with this client, like that bad clients what really made me like say, we're doing this. And you cannot give up, Tasha. Like, you can't. We're doing this. You cannot let one person be the reason that you stop going after your dreams. And it sounds simple, but it's very hard.
It's hard.
It's very hard. It's hard. Bad clients will come, but that's not going to be the rest of my life.
It's not.
And if I start speaking, I want this type of client.
Look.
I need these standards. I'm going to start setting these expectations with my clients. I'm going to start teaching my clients how they should treat me as a professional photographer. I'm going to set the standards for my business so that this doesn't happen again.
You know, I think that's so beautiful, though. A moment where you're like, okay, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Instead, you flipped it and you were like, hey, I'm going to use this to set the standard so this doesn't happen again. Yes. Or decreases the chances. Yes. And honestly, I think it's like when you hit that moment, it is that awakening moment for you. I'm just thinking about what kind of inspired us to even do like a show like this. And it was when I came in for our last session and you were like, Jewel, do you have a life? Yeah. And I was like, because it was such a real question. And then you're like, yeah, because I'm struggling with that too. Yes. Let's talk about that. Cause I think that's one of the things, again, with chasing your dreams is like, sometimes it really is hard to have that balance of like, how do you just live life and not make your life your job, especially when your job is your passion. Yes. When I started getting into like wedding photography, that means that I didn't have any weekends available. Look. So most of my friends that work 9 to 5, they working Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. But like my weekends are Wednesdays and Thursdays. It's just like hard to find other friends that like understand I'm on this grind right now. Exactly. And so like when people think chasing your dreams, like they think I can plan my schedule or like I have all the time in the world because I'm not really reporting to someone. But it's like it's the opposite. No, right. I'm like, I'm actually, especially as a photographer, I'm literally on time that people book. Yeah. So like if there's a weekend that I have open, it's most likely because nobody booked. Not necessarily because I was just like, I'm not working this Saturday. Exactly. Like, I need my money too. Like you're on the grind. Yes. Yeah. No, I can't come to you last minute anymore because I'm tired or I had a photo shoot that came up last minute. I need you to understand that. And I agree. Like it's so special when you can find friends that like understand that and support you, because it was funny. Like when you asked that and like even thinking now, it's like, okay, well, I have the day job during the week, but the weekends is when I do my content. So it's like, I feel you, and like you can't, it's not easy to make plans. And I think some people, when they don't understand or they don't try to understand, they're like, oh, well, you're ignoring me, or like, you don't have a life, like you only focus on this thing, where it's like, but there's a reason we're putting in the work now. There's a reason. And you want to surround yourself with people that can understand that or are willing to support you. Even if they're not on the grind too, that's okay. But like, don't make me feel bad for prioritizing that.
And like, that's part of the sacrifice of chasing my dream. And just me praying that like to God that like, Lord, if they meant to be in my life, then I guess we will come back at another season, another time.
Just
but
try.
Right now, like, yes. And it's like, even in that, like the phrase, like at the top is lonely.
Yes.
So it's just like right now, like in building, like sometimes I do feel lonely.
Yeah.
But then it's like the opposite side of that. It's just like, but you need a community on this entrepreneur life because you need people to support you. You need people to speak into your life. You need people to continuously encourage you.
Amen.
To believe in your dream, to keep you going.
But it's just part of the journey. I like the flip side of it not being lonely is like, because it is lonely, is that when you meet other people who feel the same way, that's when you have a special tribe.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're all able to empathize with each other and support each other.
Yes.
What has been your nay day in your journey? So someone trying to like dim your lights.
Oof. I could be a lot of extra. But
I love it though. Like, don't change.
Yes. And yes, I love that you love it. That's why we are friends.
Period. I mean, period.
But not everybody loves it. And it is a lot for people. And so how I navigate like being in spaces that people that don't let me like authentically be myself is that when I still continue to be myself. It's not like filtering. Like filtering is not a bad word. I mean, it's not filtering, but it's still kind of an adjustment, right? How can I still authentically be myself without coming off as too much? And I find that in showing support to the person and also showing grace to people. I'm a very big empath, so I'm always like trying to discover or like realize what it's like to be in other people's shoes. And in that, sometimes, yes, I do feel like I lose myself, but I have a great support system that always encourages me to always authentically be who I am.
As you should.
Like,
it's amazing.
And thank you. I have to be willing to put myself on the line and be who I am. And if something bad comes out of that, then that means I have to take the consequences, but also I have to believe in something higher that, okay, if this doesn't work out because I can't be myself here, that means that something else bigger is coming. And that's just putting my faith in God on that. And then also it's just still learning people. People are different. It's okay if I have to humble myself or approach somebody a little differently as long as I'm still being myself. Even if there's negative energy, because I'm still positive. Light outshines darkness anytime.
Period.
And that's literally, at the end of the day, that's really what it is about. So just kind of keep being a light in that darkness because the light is going to shine. The light will overcome and the light will win. Just got to continue to believe that.
I was like going to ask what advice you have for folks, but I feel like you just said it.
Yes. That is the advice. Continue to be the light.
Continue
and
to be
also
light.
put in the work.
Period.
I can't stress that enough. Don't slide into my DMs if you're not willing to put in the work. Like, and also know your worth. Know your worth.
That's important.
Know your worth. Continue to like seek after that journey. Like it's a never ending journey. So like you need to keep going. Like you need to keep, how you said, experimenting, trying things out, strategically trying. Let me put that, strategically trying things out. Not just trying it just for the heck of it. Okay, have a purpose and a reason of why you're trying these things out. But in that, like in those experimental moments, that's when you find what you're made of. Who you are and why you're worth this, and then also like your passions. So put in the work. Know your worth.
Take your notes.
And be the light. Period.
Period. How do you make every day a yay?
But first off, happiness is a choice.
It is.
And I don't think a lot of people realize that. And like, I am a very happy person. And it does stem from the saying, you can either look at the glass as half full or half empty.
Yes.
I really don't think a lot of people actually understand like the meaning of that truly. If it's raining outside, it's easy to say like, oh, am I going to get wet or is the grass getting watered so that we can have beautiful greenery? Like, yes. But like when life happens and your family member is sick, then the whole glass empty, glass full thing gets a little complicated for people.
Yeah.
Either you're gonna take this time to appreciate the years that this family member has been alive, that
Yes.
this family member has spoken into you.
Yes.
And even the fact that this family has breath and life in them right now to even still talk to you. Get all of that knowledge, get all that love out of them while you can.
Thank you so much. Like, for real. So how can we support you, the iconic Latosha?
Follow me on Instagram.
Okay.
Follow me on Instagram at Golden Lyt Photography, LLC. I might change my Instagram handle, but anyways. The light is LYT, not LIGHT. And then, you can go to my website, goldenlyt.com, and book a session with me, period. You can DM me, ask me what my goals is. Right now, my goals is to get my own studio. So if you have like any spaces that are available in the suburbs, reach out to sister. And yeah, so for all your wedding and headshot needs, I'm your girl.
For real, she is.
Look at Jewel page,
Look.
and you will see all my work beautifully displayed.
Period.
And that's so period. Yes. And also just send prayers, send positive prayers. I would love that support. Especially like on this journey as a Black entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're watching this, you know that Black people, we gotta fight a little harder, and go a little above and beyond. We gotta be just a little extra to make it. So any resources or like support, specifically just as like a Black entrepreneur, I would take it. Okay.
Period.
Grants, anything, I would take
Investments, all of it.
I would take it. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So we also want to close this out with a blessing.
No.
I think it's total praise. Is it? What is it?
Lord, I will lift my eyes to the hills. Oh, my help is coming from you. You are the source of my strength. You are the strength that
Yes.
I lift my hands
in total praise to you.
Amen.
Thank you for joining us because every day can be a